From the Warren County Health Department is Jenna Link. Good morning, Jenna.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Good.
Sun's shining.
It is. It's actually going to be a nice week now that we got through some of this cold.
Oh, yeah. That was like a little shock to the system, right?
Yeah, yes, it was.
Like,
20 degrees.
We shouldn't be surprised. I think, living in the Midwest from day to day, you just really never know what the weather's going to be. But yeah, I was not ready for that.
I wasn't either. How was your Halloween?
Fantastic. We do trunk or treat in the gym at church, so you're inside and I don't have to be outside.
That works.
I don't have little ones anymore at the trunk or treat, and I was quite glad for that.
Good. Well, I tell you what, this cold, there's been a lot of people getting sick already. I've heard pneumonias, a lot of strep, the hand and mouth disease.
Right.
There's quite a bit.
Just a lot of everything. We're seeing quite a bit of COVID even. It's that time of year, and I don't know. I think there's something to the fact when weather extremes change like that. I just feel like, people end up sick. So I don't know if there's merit to that or not, but it seems to kind of go hand in hand. October, November is the time of year that we always start talking about respiratory illness. So it's here.
Yeah, what do you got for us this morning?
So I just, we kind of always go through, like, how do I know if I have a cold or if I have the flu or if I have COVID? And really the answer to that is you don't know unless you get tested. The symptoms are very, very similar, and so it's hard to know what you really have going on. But the important thing is if you're not feeling well, make sure you stay home, get plenty of rest, drink lots of fluids. You don't want to share those germs. Make sure you're covering your cough, washing your hands. Those are things we go over every year, it seems like. So not rocket science, not anything new.
And then you said there's some COVID going around again?
Yes, there is. And we're not seeing the severity of illness like we did in the beginning. So that's good. But, it's here to stay and it's going to circulate. It always does. So.
Biggest thing I've heard that folks who are telling us that they have COVID or had COVID is that cough just lingers for a couple months.
Lingers, yeah. That's the symptom that kind of hangs on and is a little irritating and hard to get over. So.
Okay. What other symptoms are you seeing with the COVID cases?
Just a little bit of congestion, sore throat, headache, and then just mostly that cough. They can run a fever as well. So typically, if you look at symptoms for a cold, like a fever is rare with a cold, but it's much more common with the flu or COVID. So there's some things you can kind of take a look at that might help you through a process of elimination and kind of say, hey, this is the flu or this is COVID, and my symptoms aren't improving, and I probably need to go see my doctor for either the antivirals that both offer for COVID and for the flu. Maybe you need some fluids, and if you're really struggling with the breathing, that seems to be the biggest issue with COVID. In the severe forms, the shortness of breath and the development of pneumonia after having had COVID. That's the concern is, if you're not improving after 5, 6, 7 days, you really should go see your doctor.
Okay, what are the antivirals again? And those are available locally, right?
Right. So you have like Tamiflu for the flu, and then Paxlovid is the most common one you hear them talk about for COVID.
Okay.
And then, of course, we always encourage that you get your seasonal flu shot, and now there's a seasonal COVID booster as well. So, if you are someone that has underlying medical conditions that puts you at risk for a higher severity of symptoms and possibly hospitalization, by all means, you should stay up to date with your flu and your COVID shots.
Okay. What else do you have this morning?
Well, I pulled out some stuff on childhood lead poisoning prevention. Last week was the week that we celebrate in Illinois to raise awareness about childhood lead poisoning. And, we do see quite a bit of that when there's older homes. Homes that are built, I looked at that year and I can't commit that to memory, but any home built before 1978, the paint that was used may potentially have lead in it. And as it ages, it starts to degrade and chip off. And then you find it in dust and on windowsills. And so children, 6 years and under, if you think about a child, toddlers are crawling around on the floor. They put things in their mouth a lot more. So they are way more prone to getting exposed to those little, even like a tiny little chip of paint can cause issues with lead poisoning. And,
really?
Yeah. So, we do a lot of education about awareness and screenings. So that's part of the screening process when you go in for a routine. You take your child in for their routine physicals. They'll kind of do a screening with you, ask about the living environment, how old your home is, and are you seeing things going on with your paint chipping, or have you been doing any renovation? But it also can be, we shop online all the time and order things, and they come from other countries that they don't have the same manufacturing requirements that we do here in the United States. So a lot of times you'll see recalls on children's toys or even clothing that contains an elevated level of lead in, maybe the screen print on the front of the clothing, because that makes it stick better to the fabric. And so you really just need to pay attention to where you're buying your products, and making sure that you're doing routine cleaning of your home to make sure that dust and those paint chips are not where kids can pick things up and put them in their mouth, because they're on the floor.
Yeah, there's actually, this morning there was a story, I can't remember which state, on the state, we get state news for every single state, and they're warning parents about homes and their lead poisoning that they're seeing.
Right.
And also, there's a recall on our website under our trending section that's lead, that contains lead, some sort of a fruit pouch.
Right.
And so they're recalling that.
Right.
So,
and a lot of that has to do with, where the products come from and the requirements for packaging and manufacturing on those. It could be a food item, it could be a toy, it could be an article of clothing. So.
Okay. Very good information to know. Thank you.
And so they, a lead level of 5 or above, and that gets reported to the health department. And we have nurse case managers that work with families. There's an environmental inspection that comes in and tries to identify, is there a source in the home that's causing the issues, or is there something else? And so we do a lot of education with moms about nutrition and cleaning and just monitoring, trying to eliminate that source, especially if there's renovation going on in the house. How can you safely do that?
Okay. And labs have been going well.
Oh, yeah. So we always do twice a year. We offer our lab specials. We do labs year-round, but April and October, we always offer the special where I think there's 6 or 7 different labs that you get done, $75. And so that's always a good one. And we used to only offer it at a week at a time, that special, and we've bumped it to 2 weeks because it's just so popular.
Well, good. Good.
But yeah.
Okay. Anything else at the health department that you want people to know about?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think that's, I feel like we are always talking about the flu, but it's that time of year,
What's our peak?
Well, there's always 3. So it's like it kind of starts October will usually be our first, December, January will be our second, and then March, April will be our third.
So there's 3 chances of everybody
there's 3.
getting...
Usually there's 3. And if you think about that, we're heading into the fall, Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. There's a lot of family get-togethers. You're indoors more because it's colder. And I think that all correlates.
Yes. And the flu, it seems like there's 2 types of flu.
Yeah.
There's the belly flu, we call it, the tummy flu.
Right, the stomach flu, the norovirus, the gastrointestinal things.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah, nobody wants that. And then the respiratory illness, the flu, is, more the sinus and the cold and the, yeah.
Yes, I learned my lesson on the belly flu doing a Teacher of the Month presentation with 3rd graders, and they all wanted to... touch hands and high fives.
Right.
Woo! The next day I said, never again. Germ buckets. Now we high five with our elbows.
So Kira Shum, our community health coordinator, she goes in the fall and does hand washing presentations with preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade. February she goes and does dental presentations, but she always kind of comes back and she's like, oh, this little one had the runny nose, and they always want to come up and touch and
they
be close and
little germ buckets.
So
yeah, it was the only Veterans Day program I've missed since being at the radio station, but there wasn't no going to it. I can promise you that.
Some of those things you just hope don't. They really don't share.
And, I told my husband, he's like, why? You don't teach. You're not in the schools. Don't touch them. You don't have an immunity built up yet.
We kind of joked about the 6 feet of personal space during COVID times, but there is some merit to that.
Absolutely. Jenna, good information this morning. Anything else you want people to know?
No, I think we're good to go.
Okay. Well, have a wonderful week. I'll see you at the Legislative Forum and then again at Freezing for Food.
Can't wait. That's always a good time.
Thank you. That is Jenna Link with us, Warren County Health Department Administrator.